It happened, ladies and gentlemen. President Obama on Saturday, December 31st, 2011, as a little New Year's present to our constitutional republic, signed the National Defense Authorization Act. And he had an accompanying signing statement saying, don't worry, even though it says we can secretly arrest U.S. citizens.
Lawyer, you tell them, shut up.
Your time has expired.
Get a lawyer. You're an enemy combatant.
One thing that I want to say that I have observed about this new America is that it is unbelievable at how many people sleep.
Would you have signed the National Defense Act as written?
Yes, I would have, and I do believe that it's appropriate.
Approximately a year ago, a member of the Obama administration came to a Senate committee and announced that policies had been changed. He said now that they are changing this, and it's up front. They were putting it out on the table. That's what really scares me. They've abused the law in the past, but they knew it was wrong and they hid it. Today, it's too much up front. He said, we are now have an established policy that we can assassinate American citizens. That bad.
Speaker, I rise today to introduce a very simple piece of legislation to repeal the infamous Section 1021 of the National Defense Authorization Act, quietly signed into law by the President on New Year's.
We'll have our troops home within 16 months. I'll close Guantanamo. I will restore habeas corpus. I will finish the fight against Al-Qaeda.
Lay out this underwater fiber optic cable from South Florida to Cuba, where the Guantanamo Bay prison camp is located. The base commander said it only makes sense if we're going to be here for any period of time. An infrastructure project like that may well suggest that the U.S. military is preparing for detentions and other operations at the Guantanamo base for the long term.
I think we've learned some important lessons in our experience in Afghanistan.
Is that Ron Paul is the choice of the troops.
These prairie fires of freedom are being spread, and there's nothing but good news out there, precariously so, because we don't know exactly. We may have something happen. There may be a false flag incident where some ship goes down and you be used for the excuse to accelerate the next war.
Don't we also have to audit the IMF, given they're connected?
Well, they're not under the Fed, but they what you'll do is expose connections. We have a document that shows that the Federal Reserve went to the IMF, made the IMF pay interest to a private bank that made a loan and they were more broke. So it's very much involved. But auditing, you would dig up a lot of the shenanigans, because that's one thing they don't want us to know is all their arrangements with foreign governments, foreign banks, and international banking organizations. We wouldn't audit everything the IMF does, but every time the IMF had a dealings with the Federal Reserve, we would have that.
Okay, and why don't you come out about the truth about 9/11?
Because I can't handle the controversy. I have the Federal Reserve.
Targets 5 to 6% as unemployment. Without objection. I ask unanimous consent to include in the record of this debate an article from Bloomberg News that talks about how secret Fed loans gave banks billions that were undisclosed to Congress. Without objection. This is all about disclosure and accountability. You know, the Fed's not some kind of hocus-pocus black box operation. The Fed essentially supplants the constitutional mandate in Article 1, Section 8 that belongs to the Congress of the United States. Let's look at some recent history here. 2008, subprime meltdown, collateralized debt obligation, go back to mortgage-backed securities, neighborhoods in Cleveland melting down, people losing their homes. The Fed looked the other way, and we're saying, oh, don't go into the Fed, it'll be political. Yes, it's political. We have unemployment because of politics. We have people losing their homes because of politics. We have banks getting uncalculated amounts of money from the Federal Reserve, and we know about it. Meanwhile, people can't get a loan to keep their home or keep their business. audit the Fed? You bet we should audit the Fed. We have to have accountability. It's time the Congress stood up for its constitutional role. Article 1, Section 8, power to coin or create money. It's time that we stood up for America's 99%. It's time that we stood up to the Federal Reserve that right now acts like it's some kind of high exalted priesthood, unaccountable in a democracy. Let's change that by voting for the Paul bill. Thank you.
Gentleman's time has expired. Gentleman from California.
Support everything the government wants. A true patriot defends liberty and the people.
Politicians are politicians, but Ron Paul is a human being, ladies and gentlemen.
He's one of us, not one of them.
And the people know that the system we have is not working. It's not working economically. It's not working monetarily. Our foreign policy is not working. And therefore they're looking for answers. They will not welcome us with open arms. But there is a vacuum out there. And the vacuum is not in one political party. It is pervasive. It's throughout the country. It is throughout the political system. Ideas spread. They can't stop them. An idea whose time has come cannot be stopped by any army or any government.